Do you guys want to do a basically blind ranking coaches 1 through 5?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Number 1, Dabo Sweeney.
What are we ranking? Are we ranking them at 1 to 5, 5 being the best?
Or 1 being the best, 5 being the worst, and then just 1 through 5.
Oh, like on a scale of 1 to 5 for Dabo.
Basically. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put him in a solid 2.5. I think Dabo gets a lot of crap because it's Dabo and he brings a lot of things on himself. But I think he's a decent ball coach. I mean, Clemson, prior to his showing up, wasn't that great. And granted, there have been some extenuating circumstances, which we've discussed on our podcast. But I think 2.5 is a decent number for him.
If you're talking about overall career, I think Dabo is probably a 5 just in terms of what he's done. But if we're talking about currently,
I thought 5 was the worst.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. 1 is the best, 5 is the worst. Yeah.
My bad.
I was like,
He's a 1.
You don't like Dabo.
He's
just
a 1.
Flip it around, Wes. You'll get there.
Yeah, we're just flipping it. He's a 1. But if we're talking about currently right now, gosh, I'd have to say like a 4 because the dude has not adapted to NIL. He's not adapted to the transfer portal. I don't know. I just think currently he's stumbling a bit. And now, granted, he may, find his feet, as it were, but I don't think he's trending in the right direction right now as a coach.
I give him a 3. Same reasons. Historically, great. But he is holding on too tightly to some things that he just needs to evolve.
Mm-hmm. All right, another coach. He's in the SEC, Lane Kiffin.
I struggle so much with Lane. Honestly, recently, he's like made me start to like him. And I struggle with that a lot. I think them implementing like mental health services and making that a priority for the football program and athletics in general is a huge step forward. I think that's amazing for them to do at Ole Miss. I think his players really, really like him and that he advocates for them. And I can't imagine being coached by that man, but
because they're bros.
Hell of an offensive mind. He's so good and he's not afraid to just go for it. I'm going to give Lane a 2.
I would say the 2 also, with definitely potential to take that next step. I think that he's just a few pieces away of having a really good team. Clearly he has a great, mind, especially when it comes to offense, but they just need a few more pieces and he'll be there.
Yeah, many a night I toss and turn thinking about what could have been if Joey Freshwater had stayed at the University of Tennessee rather than taking that midnight plane to California. But if I had to put a number to it, I'd say I think he's trending the right way. And I think Wes is right. A couple things are out of place, but they would be great. So I'm going to say 2.8.
I love the decimals.
I know.
All righty, Lincoln Riley.
I'm gonna say solid 2 because I think he's got a lot of potential and he showed that he can win and he showed that he can put together a program.
I would say
solid 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that number. I think I kind of, not to put him and Lane on the same like wavelength, but in kind of the same mentality as far as taking a program that USC, obviously used to be, powerhouse on the national landscape, and then kind of took a few steps back. I feel like he's kind of already kind of getting them a little bit back in the right direction there. And clearly he has the appeal to recruit as well. And he seems like a Southern Cal kind of guy anyway. So I think he fits in well down there. So I think he'll do well. Solid 2.
I'm giving him a 2.97. I don't like how we left Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was dirty.
I think that was really dirty. He also stole Jalen Hurts. So I hold a lot of grudges there. I do think he's a really young, promising talent. And I think when he gets somewhere, his players really like him. But I think there's a lot of hard feelings in Norman.
No
That'd
doubt.
help USC if they ever play Oklahoma.
Ooh.
If they have to go to Oklahoma for a game,
He'll get golf balls thrown at him or
When he
mustard.
was
Hey,
talking to those recruits out at USC and, you know, making all these promises. And remember that story where the Oklahoma players
Yeah.
tweeted back and were like, don't worry, he told us the same thing last
I
week.
know. Oh.
That's pretty rough.
All right, on to another SEC coach, or Brian Kelly.
A 2, because you know, he's already a guy who did not seem like a good fit down at LSU with the family and everything like that.
So bad.
It was so
He,
awful.
you know, it's amazing how many gaffes like that will be forgotten if you win football games. And so that's what he did a lot of last year. And, you know, there were a few bumps in the road, but definitely already turning the program in the right direction. So I'll give him a solid 2.
LSU is a very impatient school, though. May I remind you of Coach Ed Orgeron? He
Yeah.
won a natty, and then he was
gone.
Les Miles won a natty, and then they
Les
tossed
Miles
him
won a
2 years
natty.
later.
He was gone. So I would put him at a 3. I think what has given that program and a lot of faith in him is the fact that they beat Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give him a 3.
Yeah,
Still can't believe they went for 2.
You gotta roll the dice sometimes, Wes.
Yeah,
I'm unwell.
I'm gonna go with a 3 as well, and only because, you know, I'm gonna say this on our show here probably next week when we start talking about it. I think LSU might be a little overhyped, just a hair. There's a lot. Like,
don't tell their
had
fans.
They had 4 losses last season. They got boat raced at home by Tennessee. I don't see it. No disrespect for the Tiger faithful, but I don't know if Brian Kelly's got all the pieces in place quite yet. So I'm going to say a 3.
All right, last person, Big Ten, Ryan Day.
To go, I'd have to go middle of the road with him right now, because I mean, obviously he's done some good things at the program, but I also feel like they've lost a few games that they probably shouldn't have. So probably a 2.5.
Georgia.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that was a tough game all around, and there's a lot going on there. Anyway, yeah.
What number did you give? What number?
I said 2.5. I was right in the middle.
You said 2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a 3.5 there, because I feel like Day was given the keys to a Ferrari, and so far he hasn't put it in the ditch. Ohio State's a team that's easy to recruit, and they're in a conference that if you can put together a couple things, you could probably win the thing. I mean, last year the only team they really had to worry about was Michigan, right? The rest of the Big Ten's kind of a toss up. No disrespect for the Big Ten fans out there, but I need to see more before I can bump it any higher than that.
Yeah, I'd give him a 3. I don't think that you've seen a test of him. I want to see more of a tougher in-conference schedule, which again, that relies on the other schools to actually be tougher, and see how he performs in out-of-conference games.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Day, he pretty much got a gold mine on a team, and yet he's done everything but he's lost to Michigan twice, which a lot of Ohio State fans are not happy with him. And if he loses again this year to Michigan,
that's a problem.
It could be a huge problem. So